This is Murray Riley Jr. from the Stomp and Shout Talk Show, now the Sky Shout Radio Podcast. You're listening to my man Tim Wilson of the Up Doe Show. Keep it tuned in, everyone.
Give me a sip of water.
It's the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe Show. It's time to recognize if you don't know. It's the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe Show. Time to recognize if you don't know.
The What Up Doe Show. Your commentary on sports, entertainment, and alternative news.
All right. What up, Doe? Yo. Hey, it's the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe Show. Yo, what up, Doe? It's your boy T. Wilson. I am live on a Thursday morning, not a Wednesday. Hump Day. We took Hump Day off to do the Unusual Suspects episode. Hope you enjoyed that. But of you are as excited about it as I am. I've got a little thing going on here. It looks like I lost my net pings. I sure hope I'm on the air. Either way, if I'm not on the air, then it looks like I'm back anyway, even if I was off. So I hope I didn't throw you all off with that. So anyway, let's get to some birthdays. I got the House of Gumbo has a birthday. The whole restaurant is having a birthday today, okay? And my homeboy from back in the hood, Juan Johnson, we call him Jello Pudding. Big ups to my boy Juan, and happy birthday to both of y'all. And on that note, so let's go ahead and get this party started. Off to a pretty late start today, so I ain't gonna waste a whole lot of time. I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into everything I can dive right into and get it in like Earl Flynn. How about that?
What Up Doe Sports.
The NBA free agency kicked off yesterday morning at midnight, and day one of free agency was very, very, very active. NBA teams signed off on over $1 billion worth of contracts. Some of the more notable signings include Anthony Davis signing the biggest contract in league history to go back to the Big Easy. Kevin Love signed a 5-year deal to stay in Cleveland. And Draymond signs a 5-year deal to stay in the Bay. That's Golden State for those that don't know. And I'm trying to stream Meerkat this morning, and it's giving me a hard time. Everything's happening crazily this morning, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, D-Wade and LeBron James are still on the market. So is LaMarcus Aldridge. We'll see what happens with those.
Hibbity hoopla!
That's enough of the basketball talk.
Hibbity hoopla!
And enough of that hibbity hoopla. The English have a history of heartbreaking losses at the World Cup, but it's hard to imagine a more devastating way to lose than England managed against Japan in Wednesday's semifinal match at the 2015 Women's World Cup yesterday. With the score knotted at 1-1 in the 92nd minute, Japan rushed forward on the counter and sent the low cross into the box. English defender Laura Bassett attempted to clear the ball, but instead tragically redirected it right under her own bar and into the goal, giving Japan a 2-1 victory and a place in the finals against the United States.
Down, down, down!
Let's move on.
What Up Doe Entertainment.
Yes, What Up Doe Entertainment. Paris Hilton was totally in on the near plane crash stunt. Turns out Paris wasn't their first choice. The company sent the offer to the reps of other American celebs back in March, offering them big money to participate in this prank. The document states, "We will act as if something is going wrong and ask all passengers to jump off the plane. Of course, everyone will panic. We'll even be having skydivers in disguise with us on board." The document goes on, "We will monitor the funny reactions from our celebrity guests," which would be you, "when they fear jumping off the plane." And the document even mentions the stunt has the blessing of Dubai authorities. I guess Paris Hilton won't be moving forward with that case.
What?
You heard me right.
What?
You heard me right.
What?
You heard me right.
Bitch!
Chris Brown has had it with Nia Guzman's child support and custody demands. So he's asking a judge to lay down the law once and for all. I'm done, Meerkat. I'm done, Meerkat. I'm trying to do my stream, and it keeps cutting off on me, man. I don't know what to do about it. I can't stop it. Anyway, Chris and Nia have been at war over a year. Over 1 year old royalty, rather. She's demanding $15,000 a month in child support, way more than Chris says is fair. Chris just filed legal documents in Houston to establish paternity. That will give him the right to fight Nia over support and custody. Chris has been paying Nia what he believes is a fair amount. She claims he's been paying $2,500 a month. He wants a judge to set the figure, which he's confident will be closer to his number than her number. Chris also wants a judge to establish clear custody guidelines because he says Nia has been denying him the right to see his daughter, so he wants a judge to set her straight. Good luck with that, Chris, because sometimes the judges set them straight, but they still don't set so straight. Take it from a guy who knows. Dealing with similar BS myself. Rick Ross's bond hearing in Fayette County, Georgia, wrapped up and the judge okayed his release once he paid a $2 million bond. Prosecutors reminded the judge how vicious the alleged crime was, telling him Ross dragged the groundskeeper back into the house and beat him multiple times, also held a gun to his chest and threatened to pop a cap in his ass if he talked. Prosecutors said Ross was pissed because the groundskeeper, who lives on the property, had people over for his birthday the night before.
Turn up for what?
What Up Doe News?
A Wisconsin art museum is defending the decision to display a controversial portrait of the previous pope, composed entirely in condoms. The Milwaukee Art Museum announced Eggs Benedict, Nikki Johnson's condom likeness of Pope Benedict VI, will go on display starting in November. Johnson, who finished the piece in 2013, said Eggs Benedict was inspired by the then Pope's comments about the potential for a contraceptive to increase the spread of HIV in Africa. She described the artwork as an act of protest. Brady Roberts, chief curator at the Milwaukee Art Museum, said this is a controversial work. This is an artist that has a point of view, and not everyone is going to embrace that point of view. The artists have been very clear. This is not an attack on the Catholic Church or the Catholics. This is about AIDS and HIV and condoms and sex and
7:30.
Come experience pop culture from the dark side. On the 7:30 show with me, Latone Heart.
I need my cigar on this.
Available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, Betamax, and VHS.
Yo, what's up with your boy?
I'm just a man with a fork in a world full of soup. No, I don't need no damn medicine.
Latone Heart. He may need medicine.
Check me out on the 7:30 show podcast.
In Uppsala, Sweden, a Swedish synchronized swimming team was treated to free booze and asked to perform inebriated routine as part of a don't drink and drive water safety campaign. The organizers of the campaign, insurance firm Trygg Hansa, said that they enlisted the swimmers, the Stockholm men's synchronized swim team, to take a slide swim in Uppsala to show the drowning dangers related to alcohol. The intoxicated swimmers take to the water and attempt to repeat formations, but the alcohol appears to have affected their abilities to the point where some team members can barely keep themselves afloat. The campaign said 2014 marked a 10-year high for drowning deaths in the country, and middle-aged men were the group found to be at the highest risk for drowning under the influence of alcohol. Not a very funny story, but a noble cause, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, 'cause I got high, because I got high, because I got high. La da 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 da.
In Winnipeg, Manitoba, an X-rated conversation between officers in a helicopter was broadcast over the vehicle's loudspeakers.
I like big butts.
The Winnipeg Police Department issued an apology after residents around the city reported hearing snippets of a conversation between officers flying in the department's Air One helicopter Monday evening. Residents reported hearing the officers explicitly discussing oral sex.
I like big butts.
Resident Brandy Armstrong recounted hearing the conversation to the Up Doe Show. She was upset by it as there were children in the area.
I like big butts.
Jacob Cerebrin said he heard the officers talking about money and using profanity. Winnipeg residents used the hashtag Whoops and speakerphone to share accounts of what they heard. The police department issued an apology on its website Tuesday.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player.
In Seattle, Washington being a state that has legalized the recreational use of marijuana, a man who held a sign at a roadside warning of a nearby speed trap said it was nonsense that he was issued a $138 citation. Daniel Gelke said that he was holding his handmade sign, a Rubbermaid bin lid, wearing the words "Cops ahead, stop at sign and light," at the side of a road for about 5 minutes before he was confronted by a police officer on a motorcycle. "I'm Officer Elliott. I'm with the Seattle Police Department, and I'm letting you know that's against the law." Gelke asks what specific law he's breaking, and the officer explains the violation involved forbidding devices or signs, as the law prohibits residents from posting signs with words that say stop, slow, turn, anything that gives directions. You can't do that. I do think this police is overstepping their bounds and using twisted laws. The code doesn't read like it's meant for stop signs like this. It's clearly meant for people trying to put up no parking signs or stop sign or yield sign on a public right of way, not someone who made a sign on a Rubbermaid bin top. I'm just trying to warn folks about cops around the corner. I'm doing people a public service. I'm doing my civic duty to my neighbors. And they're just mad because they're getting busted trying to trap people. They're trying to trap them and give them tickets.
What's up, everyone? This is Lavinia at Shibi Show Nuff on Twitter and host of the Just Thinking Out Loud podcast. And you are listening to the Up Doe Show with my friend Tim Wilson. Keep it locked.
And it is now time for your What Up Doe closing commentary. Black churches are on fire. Who's burning down the black churches? And who gives a damn? I would see a whole lot of news if black people were burning down a CVS or the neighborhood Korean grocery store or the hair salon or the place where they sell weaves. Everybody would be up in arms telling me, well, they're burning down their neighborhood. What are they doing? But somebody is burning down black churches, and nobody cares. The hell is that all about? For those that don't know, ever since the massacre of 9 people in a black church in South Carolina, the subsequent debate and call to take down the flag of the Confederacy, 7 churches across the South has been ablaze. 2 of them have been quote-unquote confirmed as arson. The only one that they are ruling out arson is ironically a church that is confirmed to have been burned down by the KKK 20 years ago. The irony is 20 years ago, we were still 30 years away from the 60s. Do you realize the 60s was 50 years ago? Yet you turn on the television, you turn on your computer, and YouTube videos look like the 60s. Cops sicking dogs on crowds in Ferguson, Missouri. Cops yanking young girl by the hair and swinging her around like a rag doll at a pool party. Black churches ablaze in the South. What year is this? Those that didn't catch what happened directly after the massacre in South Carolina, this is why it got the attention of many, and it was time to go. In the post hours after the massacre at the church, the American flag flew at half-staff. The state flag of South Carolina flew at half-staff. The Confederate flag was flying high. Higher than the U.S. flag, higher than the South Carolina flag, in the midst of the murder of 9 innocent people by a guy on a racist rant. That was the first sign that something was wrong. That grabbed the attention of a lot of people across the country. Then it showed up on the license plate and in the hands of our murderer. And everyone started to agree. It is time for the flag to go. And in protest against the idea of us taking the flag down, you burn down black churches. which in my opinion only illuminates the point that it's time for the flag to go. You murderers, you terrorists, you supremacists should not have a flag flying high above the state capitol of any state in the United States of America. Do you think there would be outrage if there was a mass shooting in a white church in Detroit, Michigan, and a red, black, and green flag flew high above the American flag and the state flag of Michigan on the grounds of the state capitol in Lansing? In the aftermath of a black man going on a racist rant inside of a white church, slaughtering 9 innocent white people. Do you think there would be an issue with the red, black, and green Black Power flag flying? Let's say there wasn't a massacre. Let's say a state in this union decided to fly the red, black, and green. Let's say a black governor came in and said, I want to fly the red, black, and green. Do you think there would be an issue? The Confederate flag represents a collection of people that formed an army to rebel against the abolishment of slavery. The red, black, and green does not have as much blood on its hands as the Confederate flag. Yet, it would likely cause more of an uproar than this Confederate flag has. You lost the war, lose the flag. And let's find out who's burning black churches. Let's care. Let's raise our volume. Let's make a little more noise about this, because this has to stop yesterday. Yo, man, I think I'm going to go ahead and roll up out of here because I got to go. I got a late start. I know I got a late start. I want to thank you all for joining me. I want to say big up to, sorry to all my people out there on Meerkat. I couldn't stream this morning for some reason. Every time I started the stream, it got disconnected. I have no idea why. But anyway, big up to my man Latone Heart. He hosts a show called The 730 Show. You can catch it on Stitcher.com, Spreaker.com, and iTunes. Big up to Dino Red of the Shiznit Show. You can catch it on Stitcher.com as well by way of the Red Rock Podcast Network. Big up to Lavinia. She be show enough. She does a show called Just Thinking Out Loud with her cousin Bugetto Rising. You can catch them on Stitcher.com. Big up to Murray Riley Jr. of the Sky Shout Radio Podcast. You can catch him on Stitcher or Spreaker.com. Big up to Spirit G of the G Spot Podcast Network. He does a show called Hoopla with his sister Storm on Stitcher.com. And that's all I got, man. I got to get out of here. Peace out. Pressure crease out. Keep the police out while I bust his niece out. And I'm out of here like last year.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What up, though?